every single one of the people who are getting their certificates today, because it's proof positive that people can and do recover from addiction. And that employment, education and training play a really important part in that, and that should go hand in hand with that recovery.
The Addiction Worker Training Project supports and trains people with a history of drug and alcohol problems to ultimately find employment in the social care field. People who come on the course typically have multiple barriers to employment. These can be things such as self-esteem issues, a lack of learning and training, and the idea is to help these people overcome these barriers to employment and support them throughout the course of 50 weeks to complete 2 placements, ultimately to find employment in the social care field. To supplement the training experience, we also provide an SVQ Level 2 qualification in health and social care, and trainees complete a variety of training sessions and workshops throughout the year related to issues in the care field.
Everybody involved here benefits from the project, from myself to the trainees, to the staff teams and ultimately the service users. I'll try and break that down a bit for you. For me, it brings a fresh set of eyes, or we take 2 trainees at a time, so 2 sets of fresh eyes to look at the service and report back on it and let me know what they see, because I specifically ask them for their opinions on the service. It brings to the staff team a new injection of enthusiasm, because the trainees who come here, every one of them is sort of full of beans and wants to learn and wants to get involved. For the trainees themselves, this place gives them excellent opportunities to meet their learning outcomes for their SVQ and also to interact with service users and get that experience. And for our service users, it shows them that having an addiction doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world.
I know it can cause you a bit of stress, but there's a process and you would have to go through quite a lengthy process, and we'll act on your behalf, and you can always get advocacy matters as well and get you linked in with. A lot of my friends in recovery had been through the SDF and been quite successful and were in full-time employment. So they kind of encouraged me to fill out the application form from the website. The process was quite lengthy, you know, but I got a lot of encouragement and a lot of support from my friends in recovery who had helped, you know, me through the application process, and then through the interview process, and then getting a letter and saying that they were pending funding, and it was quite lengthy. It was exciting. To be moving forward. I cried when I opened the letter that day. I felt really relieved that the time that I'd put in, it was over a 6-month period or longer, that the time that I'd put in had actually paid off.
And what we can see in this graph here is that there's a disproportionate number of people with hepatitis C in Scotland that live in the poorest 20% of the population. So in terms of that idea,
quite often trainees will have experienced multiple barriers to employment related to financial issues, not having direct experience of learning and having been out of the job market for an awfully long time. So a project such as this really benefits trainees and makes them more job ready. At the end of the course, we hope that trainees will have achieved an SVQ Level 2 in health and social care. It's really rewarding for me to work with this group, particularly working with people who may have written themselves off, may not have any qualifications, may not have finished school, and to see them at the end of the year having completed this qualification is astounding.
We get a share of the good causes funding, which comes every time somebody buys a lottery ticket, and we use that to support a range of work across Scotland, from very small grants to very large investments. Because our aim is to help people and communities most in need, This was a project that was going to be working with people who were far away from the labour market to help them develop the skills, the experience and the confidence that they would need to take up positions in social care. And the whole project was built around the organisation's ability to deliver, to support trainees into employment. So we felt it was a very ambitious project, but one that was worthy of support.
We're expanding into the east of the country as it's been proved to be so successful in the Glasgow area. Over 85% of the people who've started the AWTP have completed it, and of that, over 80% have gone into further employment. My role is to coordinate the project. It's to source the placements that are involved, to recruit the trainees, to support the trainees once they're in post, to find alternative funding to maybe expand to other areas of the country.
I know that there's been funding secured for an addiction worker training project in the east of Scotland. I mentioned earlier that we're not going to be just in Glasgow next time. The next one is going to be based in Edinburgh, led by the new East of Scotland coordinator Amy Kirkpatrick, who we saw on the film. The project starts at the end of this month. And it's got 8 trainees already recruited. I'm told that 3 of the trainees are from Fife and that Fife ADP is funding the participants from their own area, and that's a great step forward. And I dare say everybody here will be hoping that other ADPs take note and begin to think about doing the same thing themselves. That means that they're acknowledging that the project is seen as a really important addition to the local recovery pathway. And an inspiration to others through visible recovery. And of course that's what each and every one of the graduates of this are.
I finished the course and applied for 6 jobs. Through the application forms I get 3 interviews, and last week I was in a very privileged position where I was offered the 3 jobs.
I'm really grateful that I'm here and I got all the support for the SDF to enable me to get here.